A new winter has come, ladies and gentlemen. The news that we were all dreading, it's finally here. This is it. Nintendo has officially announced that we're getting a live-action Legend of Zelda movie. Why the hell am I so terrified right now?
Bruh.
Hey everyone, I'm Sebastian from Cinema Reviews, and yes, you heard me right. Nintendo has officially announced today that we are getting a live-action Legend of Zelda movie. We don't know what type of story, what kind of game they're adapting. Really, we don't know much about this at all. They surprisingly were very coy about what it is that they're announcing. All we know about it is who is involved, that Nintendo is in fact working on this on par with the studio that they hired to work on it, and we also know who is directing and who's producing. More on that later. But let's talk about the good stuff first. Let's go back. Let's rewind to 2023 and how this year started. This year, we got to see not one, not two, not three, but 4 video games get successfully adapted into live action. And 1 animated, and I'm so stupid because I did not script this, and as you can see, I'm not going to be stopping anytime soon. We got 3 live-action adaptations and 1 animated movie from 4 different video games that were each successful in their own way, mentally quality notwithstanding. We had The Last of Us, which became not just one of the greatest shows of all time, but also one of the biggest successes of the year. It's the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which was the movie that I was dreading the most out of any film that got released this year, but became not only the biggest movie of the year until Barbie came out, but also became a much better film than any of us had any right to expect. We got Twisted Metal, which got released on Peacock, and it was actually very good and surprisingly very faithful to the games despite all the liberties that it took. And now recently we had the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that finally came out after all these years of development hell. And it's okay. I'm not exactly into the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, so my opinion on it really doesn't matter. If you're a fan of the games, you're probably gonna love this movie a lot. Anyway, I'm here to talk about The Legend of Zelda. And Nintendo, you assholes nearly gave me a heart attack while I was at work today. So, what happened here was that Nintendo, or more specifically Shigeru Miyamoto, put out a post announcing that they are not only working on a live-action adaptation of Legend of Zelda, but that they also have a studio and a producer involved with it. Here it is. According to Nintendo themselves, they have announced that they are not only developing a live-action Legend of Zelda movie, but that it will also be produced by Shigeru Miyamoto alongside Avi Arad and Sony. It will also be directed by Wes Ball, and quite recently they just announced that it's going to be written by a person. I don't remember who the name was, but I'm going to be noting it down here and then you can all talk about it amongst yourselves. But they have announced that Nintendo is working with Sony to create a live-action Legend of Zelda movie with Avi Arad and Wes Ball working as a producer and as a director. Wes Ball, for those of you who don't know, is the current director of the upcoming Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie, which looks fantastic, and I'm really excited to see it. Avi Arad, on the other hand, well, we need to talk about this, and I want to tell you guys, when I first read the news that Legend of Zelda is being adapted into live action, I wanted to scream to the fucking high heavens excitedly. I want this to be the happiest thing in the world. The problem is, it's a Sony movie now. It's a Sony movie with Nintendo working alongside of it. Now that's a good thing. I'm glad that Nintendo isn't just willy-nilly giving their IP over to another studio and just letting them do whatever the hell they want. The issue comes with the fact that Avi Arad is exactly the kind of guy who is known for doing whatever the hell he wants. So, Avi Arad is a film producer known for a lot of different things and has worked on many films, some of which you are all probably familiar with. More famously, he is responsible for working on the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies and pretty much is the man in charge of anything and everything that was Spider-Man related, whether it was with Sony or with Marvel, and actually had a hand when it came to how Marvel would end up creating their version of Spider-Man and why that one differs so greatly from both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. He is a man with a lot of influence as well as a lot of experience, but he is not a man without his flaws, and unfortunately many of those flaws, depending on how you view him and the stuff that came as a result from his involvement, can be very hit or miss. Me personally, I love the stuff that he was involved in. I love the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I really liked some parts of Amazing Spider-Man 1 and enjoyed some bits of Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and the less I say about the Tom Holland movies, the better, because honestly, I can go on and on about how much I love those films. But if you guys want to know more about our opinions on it, you can go check out Diego's videos on it. He did an entire series talking about it. But more importantly, this is a man who pretty much helped shape how a lot of Marvel is being seen these days. And for many people, that can be both a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is that this man knows how to make, at least on the fundamental basics, he knows how to tell a good story. The problem is, he's also a guy who is known for basically always having way too much creative control, and 9 times out of 10, overusing that power for his own benefit. And that can be a very big detriment depending on the story that we're working on here. So, I personally am very excited over the fact that we're getting a live-action Legend of Zelda movie, and I want to be happier than anyone in this. I know that HMK is currently screaming through the top of his lungs right now, and I can still hear him from here in Puerto Rico. I want to be as excited as that. The problem is, again, it's Sony that's working on this, and I trust Sony in the same way that I trust Universal to not be, well, Universal, and that I cannot trust Universal. But Sony, on the other hand, is a different story. I don't know how to feel about this, and I really don't think that this is going to be bad or good. I don't know what to think, and I am very nervous because of that. I want to look at this and just sigh with relief that the good guys are in charge. I mean, we got Wes Ball directing, the man who did the Maze Runner movies that were very fucking good adaptations of the books. They were much better than the books in my opinion. But then you got a man who is known for basically having too much creative control and for not always putting the story and the character over his own ideas. This is a man who would very likely look at the cover for Legend of Zelda and think that Link is the fucking Zelda. And that is why I'm very nervous as to how they're going to be handling this. I'm sure that Miyamoto is going to be very hands-on on this, and I really hope for the life of me that he is there to basically say what is what and who is who and how is how. I want him to basically tell this man to be careful with how he does anything with this property. This is a very, very sensitive subject for me, guys. I'm very nervous about how they're going to handle this, and I really, really don't know how they're going to do so, but I really hope for the life of me that this becomes not just a good movie, but the best movie that it can possibly make. I want this to be good, guys. I'm legitimately serious. I want this to be the best movie they could possibly make. I just don't know if they're going to succeed, but I could be wrong. I want to be optimistic. I'm also going to be very much casually looking at this with every single bit of cynicism involved there. I don't want to be that guy, but I've been fooled once by Sony, and I don't, for the life of me, want to be fooled a second time. I've already been fooled with the Uncharted movie, and at the very least, it's not looking like this is going to be the same case, or at least I hope not. But that also terrifies me, because if they had this much trouble with one of their own intellectual properties, what the hell is going to happen when they had to work on somebody else's? Anyway, I just thought I should let you guys know all about this. It's just a thing that's been on my mind ever since I saw it. How would Moist Critical end this? Oh, that's about it. See ya. Oh man, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Thanks everybody for watching. I apologize for the state of how this video turned out. It really was a bit of a rush job, and I didn't even think twice about double checking to make sure that all my settings were as they should, and unfortunately, I ended up paying the price for it. But regardless, if you're able to watch or at the very least tolerate the audio issues, I'm glad you were able to enjoy it if even at all possible, and thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see here and you would like to see more, be sure to like, share the video with your friends, and subscribe for more content. And if you would like to support the show, then check out our Patreon page for bonus content and exclusive rewards. As always, I'm Sebastian from Cinemageddon Reviews, signing out, and I'll see you on the Wasteland.